Trevor?
Yeah, I'm not so bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Another week at work. Not much else happening yet again. I'm in tier 4, which is even fucking worse.
No, it's not tier 4, Keith. It's full lockdown.
Oh, we're in full lockdown.
Yeah,
Still the fucking same.
It's similar but slightly different.
No, all the same. Tomatoes.
Yeah, I would have been at work on Saturday probably, but the one of the fridges broke, so all the meat that we had in there just died like over a couple of days while we went in and couldn't open.
I think the point of it being in there is that it's already dead.
Oh, fuck off. All the meat we had went off and was not usable. How's that?
That's better.
That's better. Oh.
You know, I've got to keep your standards up when you're not working. You know, I've got to mentally challenge you. See.
Yeah, me noggin's gone to mush.
Yeah.
I need a hat that says noggin on it so I don't forget where the hat goes.
Yeah. So no work this week then?
No, I'll be back in. I'm back in tomorrow. My other job's opened up again, so I'll be making pizzas from tomorrow.
Ooh,
fun times.
I do enjoy a good pizza, to be fair. But
Who doesn't?
I always tend to get the same one, which is just the pepperoni.
Yep, pepperoni is the default topping.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I'm fine with. I like pepperoni. When it's good, it's really good, especially like when it crisps up just on the edges and like blisters just a little bit. That's peak pepperoni. 10 out of 10.
But I feel like pepperoni is only the standard topping for pizzas. You don't get on anything else.
I get it on sandwiches at Subway. Subway, I get pepperoni. I get a BMT, which is some kind of meat, and ham. But one of them is a red sausage-looking thing, so I'm like, it's pepperoni enough.
No, it's salami, isn't it?
No, because salami's the other one. BMT is 3 meats. It's ham and then 2 kinds of discs.
So salami and pepperoni.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose it was.
Yeah. It's the red one. I think it's the paprika or some shit. I don't fucking know. It just tastes all right.
Just it tastes okay in your face.
It does. So yeah, I've got to go and work tomorrow. Learn a new menu. It's not that different from the old menu. It's just got a few bits that aren't on there anymore, and we've got like salad and some shit now as well.
Okay.
So that'll be fun tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm starting to get into boxing a bit more recently because I've got like nothing else to do.
I didn't know like how much boxing is going on. Where you're watching like the illegal stuff, the more interesting stuff.
The illegal stuff. What's this illegal stuff?
Yeah, where they get like power-ups where like you toss a bottle in and they scrap for the bottle first.
I didn't know that this was a thing, but I'd probably watch that too if I could.
Yeah. I'd bet on that if I could. Yeah.
Yeah, bet on it. Bloody hell. But no, like just going back and watching old fights and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
What did I watch today? Ricky Hatton versus Floyd Mayweather.
Ooh, Floyd Mayweather is a sprightly man. He's a slender boy.
He is a slender boy. Also, just a despicable human being that's never been knocked out.
What's wrong with that, Keith? Hadn't what's his face not been knocked out until Conor McGregor? I thought he hadn't been knocked out for like ever.
Not knocked out. No. He's had a couple of TKs, which are like technical knockouts, where the ref stops it.
Oh, fair enough.
But he's never been like properly knocked out.
Oh.
Where I kind of feel like Floyd Mayweather. If there's anybody that like fully deserves to be 100% knocked out for at least 10 minutes, it is Floyd Mayweather.
But why?
Because he's just a despicable human being.
Go on, explain.
He's come out with homophobic slurs. He has spent a big portion of his money opening up strip clubs. So
is that a negative? Is that a bad thing?
I feel like it is.
Why?
I don't know.
Or have you just lumped it in with it's the kind of thing that bad people do, so he's bad?
Probably, yeah. I feel like it's a negative thing to do.
Fair enough.
He thinks he's some sort of pimp. Where in actual reality, he's just a twat.
Yeah, fair.
And yeah, I'm fairly. It was either him or Manny Pacquiao that said that homosexuals are like animals.
I think that could be Manny Pacquiao because I know he's like super religious.
Yeah, I'm sure Floyd Mayweather's said homophobic stuff before as well.
Hmm.
He's just not a very nice person.
What's Conor McGregor's stance on the gays? Go on.
I don't know. I don't think he's ever talked about the gays.
So just
I don't think the gays are.
keep them in the closet. They don't have them in Ireland.
There's not many gays in Ireland, I don't suspect.
No, they're there. They're just, fearful.
Yeah, it's like the women that need abortions. They're not in Ireland anymore.
Fuck no, they left.
The gays and the abortions both left.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm fairly certain that's a thing.
Yeah. Gays and abortions just left Ireland.
Yeah, I just said, no, we're not having this.
No, we're off.
Shove your religion up your bottom.
Or mine.
Or mine.
Just shove up mine. No, it's alright.
Fucking hell.
Try not to die. If you're going to give me the Rona, just do it.
You
Cough
know-
into my mouth. Now.
Jesus Christ. But, yeah, he's... What other facts have I watched recently? I can't even remember. But that's all I've been watching. Boxing and Modern Family.
You enjoying Modern Family?
I am. There's gays in that. There's two big gays.
There are. It took like 4 seasons before they kissed on screen. Yes.
Yeah. Even though one of them isn't actually gay.
Which one, Ginger or the bigger guy?
The bigger guy.
Ah.
Not gay. Married to a woman. Very good looking woman.
Oh.
So, he's either not gay or just not come out as gay.
Or he could be, like bi or any of the in-betweens.
Any of the other 572 sexes now.
Yeah.
I imagine that there's 572.
There's the standards and probably more. It's just, I know what I know. Yeah.
Well, there's two, and then all the ones in between. Pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah. The spectrum.
Yeah. I've given up trying to explain that to my dad. He just doesn't get it.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah, that's true. And I was trying to tell him about what's Kim Kardashian's stepdad called?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh yeah, you fucking
No,
do.
I
Let
don't.
Me Google it. If
I do not
I'll
keep-
tell you in a minute. You're like, oh yeah, that one.
I myself do not keep up with the Kardashians.
She was called Bruce. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn
Okay.
Jenner. Tried telling my dad about that. And yeah, he just doesn't get it.
Yeah. How old's your dad?
He's in his 60s.
No point.
Yeah.
There's just no point. Like, correct him if he fucks up, but like...
I said, well, there's either two ways of explaining it to him. I said, option number one is always been a woman that's trapped in a man's body, which is the most likely one.
Yeah, that's the
He's
more
like-
accurate.
He's like, no, not having it. Not having that he spent 50 years in the wrong body. No, not having it. I'm like, right, well, the other explanation is he got married to Kim Kardashian's mum and spent 15, 20 years living in a house with mental women, and it's got to him. And that way, like, yep, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Right, so not...
I'm like, yeah, Dad, that's not the reason.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. You grow up in a climate that isn't accepting of you, so you conform, and then you finally get to the point where you can comfortably be yourself, and then your dad comes up and goes, fuck you.
Yeah. It just cracks me up, that sort of stuff. You don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
It were even better when it was his stag do, because we went down to Bristol for his stag do. I think it must. I think it was like late July that we went down because his wedding was early August.
Yeah.
And it was like the weekend that Pride was on.
Oh.
And, you know, my dad's okay with the gays. He gets the gays. He's happy with the gays.
Yeah, he grew up in the time that, like, and essentially a revolution occurred of acceptance and...
Well, I don't think he had much choice with, you know...
The sons. The son.
Yeah. My oldest brother being gay and getting married to another man.
Yeah, I suppose your dad has to either accept that or come out as the fact that he hates everyone.
Yeah, so that was an interesting weekend. He learned a lot about the gays that weekend.
Good.
And it were a case of stuff kept coming up in topic, and he was like, I have no idea what that is.
Can you explain, please?
Like teabagging. He'd never heard of teabagging.
Oh.
Just little things like that. Like, me and my brother's just like messing around going, oh, teabagging. My dad like,
Yup.
What's fucking teabagging? Who's having a brew? Who's got a fucking kettle around here?
Oh.
I'll have a brew. Someone teabag me. I'm like, no, Dad.
Jesus.
No. Please don't be walking around Bristol on fucking Gay Pride weekend shouting, somebody teabag me, please.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well, I'm fully expecting at some point soon for me dad to be one of those blokes that like starts visiting people when coronavirus is over with just a tea bag in his top pocket.
Well, like my granddad.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
My granddad wanders around with a Yorkshire tea bag in his pocket in case you have shit tea at your house.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't surprise me with my dad that if he walks around with a tea bag in his pocket.
Yeah, no, it's completely fair. It's a valid thing to do. It's like I used to wander around with a Twinings tea bag in my wallet because it fit nice in the in one of the card slots.
Why?
Because I like Twinings tea. And if I come to your house, you don't have Earl Grey, do you?
No, because I'm a fucking straight bloke.
Yeah, well,
we don't do Twinings fucking Earl Grey.
Twinings is a very good tea brand. It's slightly more expensive, but it's far better than the others. Yorkshire tea is okay. I'm fine with Yorkshire tea, but Lancashire tea beats it. So,
talking about tea, actually, my grandma used to get like this specialty.
No specialty.
Specialty.
Oh.
Came in a special bag, and it was tea specially made to be brewed with Lancashire water.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Because we've got decent water. Down south has bad water. Because where the water comes from, it's got more of a limestone content. So that's why you get lime scale on your pipes and in your kettle.
Yeah. So she used to get like posh tea.
Posh tea.
Posh tea, and that would be the standard tea that she drunk.
Your nan sounds like a Tory.
No, I don't think she is.
Oh, good. It's just the one thing that she's like, yeah, I'm spending money on my tea.
Yeah. No, I think it was just the mindset of we have the money to spend on nice things, so I'm going to spend the money on things that I'm going to enjoy, like cups of tea. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. It's worth spending money on the one-off purchases, like TVs and couches and big bits. It's worth spending more money on because you need it to last longer because you've put more money into it. But then the little things as well, like nice tea.
Yeah, to the point where she had like a little tea sieve, and she poured the hot water through the sieve. Oh, it was brilliant. She shouldn't do it anymore. She can't afford it anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. The two things that I refuse to get to cheap out on is bread. We talked about this last year. Bread. I won't cheap out on bread. I get Warburtons. The other one that I think I forgot to mention, but toilet paper. Never cheap out on your toilet paper because it'll just make you sad.
That is true.
When every shit's an ordeal, you're just not in a good place.
Jesus. Yeah, no, I agree. I think I'd go one step further, where I know you won't do this. I will get brand sauce, like Heinz tomato ketchup.
No, I
Because I know that you don't really like ketchup and stuff.
ketchup no, but I reckon it was the one thing that my mum spent money on. She was like, nope, ketchup is Heinz, and so is tomato soup.
Yeah,
So she doesn't falter on that. Becca doesn't like Heinz tomato ketchup, but it's too sweet, so she gets Aldi's own. It's not as sweet. There's less sugar in it. It's more salty.
Becca's a little bit weird.
Yeah, no, she is. I agree.
I think she's probably the only person in the country that doesn't like Heinz tomato soup.
No, it's tomato ketchup specifically that she, because she got me a tin of Aldi's own tomato soup and it was dog shit. I hated it.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just reminded me of that scene in on the what's it called, the program with Peter Kay. On the Road to Nowhere or something like that it was called.
Phoenix Nights. Or is it? No, it's Max and Paddy's Road to Nowhere.
That one.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm fucking sick of this shit. Bastard Bob's Beans. What the fuck's this shit?
Yeah, Heinz beans are the... I've heard that Branston's are alright, but I don't like beans either, so...
What do you mean you don't like beans?
I don't like beans. It's a simple concept. Get it through your thick fucking head.
No,
I don't like beans.
I fucking won't. You absolute cretin. Who doesn't like fucking beans?
Me? Beans are just shit.
Your shits. You despicable human being.
Get out my house.
Get out my house. This is my house.
I'm not in your house.
This is my house.
Leave. Yeah, beans are just shit.
You just...
To be fair, I'm not big on tomato-y stuff. Like, tomato soup, for some reason I like it. I think it's because I was growing up like, no, you're having a tin of soup and some bread. That's your meal for the week. But, like, pizza as well, that's fine. Lasagna initially I didn't get into until I was, like, probably 11 or so. Like, because I didn't like cheese, and then mozzarella was a new concept, and then I got into pizza and lasagna and all that. But, like, generally, tomato products I'm just not super into. Like, tinned spaghetti, it's fine, but I'd rather not.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I suppose, like, when you're a chef and you're half decent at cooking...
Yeah, I'm halfway there.
You know, it's probably best not having, like, fucking shit out of a tin.
Like, no. I love shit from a tin. I love easy meals. Because I get paid to do that. I come home and I don't get paid to do it anymore. I'll do it on my own terms. I will shove a frozen pizza in the oven because I like frozen pizza and it's easy and I don't want to have to put effort in when I get home.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like, I don't expect you to come home and start, like, ringing places and doing your job for free. Why do you expect me to do it?
But I still... Yeah, I suppose I don't fucking ring anybody. I think the only, like, company that I've rung over the last 2 years is probably fucking O2.
Yeah.
And then I find myself marking them in my head.
How did they do? Oh, they didn't do well.
Didn't do well. They didn't open it properly.
Didn't open it.
Properly.
No rapport. When they answered that phone, I had no idea who was ringing.
Yeah.
They didn't say hello, welcome to O2. Oh, livid.
They didn't ask me if there was anything else that I could help with at the end of the call.
No, they didn't ask that. Oh. I only got the name once. That was terrible. No good resolution at the end. No wrap up.
God.
No rapport built. Oh, livid.
Livid.
That's getting below a 70.
Yeah.
Oh.
But at least you're not at the Nathan Murphy level of weird food habits.
No. Who doesn't like cheesy garlic bread?
Nathan Murphy.
What a mess.
Doesn't like cheese.
What a mess that man is.
Yeah. I think we actually named all the things that he does eat. And I think you could count it on both hands.
Oh, Jesus. Because I've got individual bits that I don't like. Like, I'm not big on mushrooms. I don't like beans. Like, there's wide, like, beans, not into that. But also, like, generally, cheeses, I'm not super into. I'm getting more into it because we had a mac and cheese competition at work to, like, figure out what recipe we're going to use for the mac and cheese on the menu. And I tried it and it was fine. It tasted like Dairy Lee, and I was like, yeah, I like Dairy Lee. That's fine. Maybe I don't hate cheese as much as I thought. So I'm trying to branch out. There's a bit of brie in the fridge that I'm going to have a bash on, because I thought it was a mild cheese. I was apparently mistaken. As I've told by many people, no, that's a really strong one. Maybe don't go there.
Okay. But yeah, I think like Nathan Murphy, all he eats is like garlic bread.
With onions.
I don't think he likes onions.
I thought it was garlic bread with onions. That was his specific thing.
No, garlic bread. Just plain garlic bread. I think he likes onion rings.
Onion rings are good. I like onion rings.
Chicken and rice, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and crisps. He likes crisps.
I'm not big on crisps.
I love them.
They're never a go-to for me. Like the Thai sweet chili sensations, they're pretty alright. They're fine. But crisps are never, like, especially potato crisps, I very rarely reach for them. Like chipsticks, I really like. I like chipsticks quite a bit.
Bacon frazzles.
Frazzles are alright. They're just okay. They get a bit of a pain to eat after a while.
No,
Like they're just massively stick in your teeth. And you're like,
I love them. And not even like the brand frazzles.
Oh, you like Tesco's own massive bag for a party.
Yeah.
But it's like 60p for a big bag. I'm like that with chipsticks. Like actual branded chipsticks are the best. They're my preferred. But the other ones are alright. They tend to be a bit too tart, bit too vinegary, but they're fine.
I find that I like a lot of salt and vinegar crisps.
I like salt and vinegar.
Regardless of whether it's like Pringles, fish and chips crisps, or whatever.
Yep, no, salt and vinegar is my go-to flavour. My go-to. Like, Pringles, the Texas barbecue ones are good, but I can't eat a whole tube of them. They're a little too sweet. They get a bit much. Salt and vinegar, I'll just bash through 2 cans. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yep. Salt and vinegar. Walkers, I'm not huge on. I'm not big on Walkers. If I'm having salt and vinegar, like proper crisps, I'll generally lean towards the Seabrooks. Because, and this is controversial, this one, and I know it is, I'm going to upset you, not big on McCoys.
Oh no.
I know.
It's like you're actively trying to make me cry tonight.
Yeah, no, I just, not big on McCoys. They're too much.
No.
I need a flimsier crisp.
No.
Seabrooks are the same wave cut, but they're just not as thick.
No, I like that about Chris. The McCoy's crisp.
You're like having a fight with your food.
The dummy thick, as the kids would say.
Yeah, no, Seabrooks are my go-to. I don't really like Discos. They're stale out of the bag.
Yeah. P that I work with, like, I don't think I've met anybody that likes Chris more. Like the fact even to the point where, as part of his secret Santa gift, somebody got him a 24-pack of like fucking Walker's crisps.
Jesus. You know what it probably is, and I think did you by any chance grow up pretty much in the pub? Was the pub a regular occurrence for you growing up?
How regular is regular?
More than once a month.
Yeah.
Football matches and stuff.
Yeah.
Football match, you go to the pub first, and you'd sit there with your pint of Coke and a packet of crisps.
I can't ever remember eating that many packets of crisps at the pub, though.
It's just part of the experience, I think.
It was a treat.
A treat?
Yeah,
Oh.
a treat. A J2O, a bag of crisps, what a fucking treat.
Oh, J2O. Yeah, I remember when, like, 'cause I remember when I started getting J2Os, because, like, I think it was, like, just after oh, no, it was after we moved. So, like, we were slightly better off financially.
Yeah.
So J2Os were on the menu. Like, I want to say this was, like, when I was in year 5, so it must have been early 2000s. It was just after we moved, so it must have been like 2004, 2005. J2Os, like, I remember the apple and melon one being like the best, but it was a short run one. I don't remember them existing after like Christmas 2005, where I got my BMX.
Yeah, I remember always because we used to go away caravanning a lot growing up.
Yep.
With like a bunch of people, there'd always be like a walk on the Saturday.
Yeah.
And we'd go on this long walk, and it always ended at a pub somewhere.
Yep.
And I always remember getting the orange J2R, and my stepdad always kicking off, going, "Fucking hell, these J2Rs, they're more expensive than a fucking pint, these."
Yep. Oh. I think my dad and your dad would get on just complaining about shit.
Yeah.
Start their own podcast whinging.
Yeah. I'm like, and as a kid, I'm like, what are you whinging about? I'm only going to have like 2 or 3 J2Rs. What are you whinging about? But as an adult, I actually get it. I'm like, why am I buying a fucking J2R for £4?
Oh.
Just get a fucking orange juice. Same fucking thing.
Yep, no, yeah, I get it. Do you remember the glitterberry ones they brought out?
No.
Oh, it was like a pink one, and it didn't taste nice, and it was full of glitter. It was, it was an experience.
They do that in like some like vodkas and stuff now, don't they? Like the fucking glitter.
Yeah.
I don't trust it.
It's fine. It's an edible mica powder. It just gives you glittery shits. It's fine. I've never drunk them under the worry that I'm going to wake up the day after and have a glittery shit. Yeah, it's fine.
And as a straight man, I can honestly say, I don't want glittery shit.
Do you think just being gay gives you the glitter shits? Do you think that's how it works?
It gives you the right to have a glittery shit. That's the difference.
Okay, so that's in gay rights, glitter shits, that's fine.
Yeah, you're allowed to have a glitter shit.
That's the gay privilege, glitter shits.
Yeah. You have glitter, that's the gay thing. Where, you know, if I go and have a shit and it's full of glitter, I'm like, what the fuck's happening to me?
It's your awakening. It's your acknowledgement of who you actually are.
What the fuck am I doing with my life? I need to pull it together.
Oh
God.
Yeah, pubs are expensive. It's nice when you find a pub that isn't like ridiculously overpriced.
Barney's in town, that's very cheap.
Isn't that a gay bar? I thought that was a gay pub.
No. Jesus Christ, I hope not.
I'm a regular there. Oh no.
I've only been in a couple of times and it's full of like 60-year-old blokes with like 3 teeth.
Yep.
And just really rough people.
No, I've been in. I've walked past it a few times. I was like, I don't want to go in a pub where like the mascot is a pig. It just confuses me.
Yeah. Why would that confuse you?
I don't know. It's a pig with like a trumpet, and I'm like, I don't know what this is trying to convey. A bull, I get it. A lion, I get it. A horse, fine. It's a fucking cartoon pig.
Right.
It just I don't get it.
But the horse and the bull and...
I've been to many a pub that have a horse or a bull or a lion, and I get those. Dog and partridge, I get that. Weird pig, no. Why is it called Barney's? Why has it not got a pub name?
Barney's is a...
No, it's not. Who's Barney? Is he the pig?
Because it's not a pub, it's a bar.
No, it's a pub.
It's a bar.
It has a bar. It's a pub.
What is the difference between a pub and a bar?
I think it's like... Actual definition, I'm not sure. But for me, a pub you can take your kid to and not feel weird. Even though it's full of old people, it's like...
I thought the difference was that, well, everyone knows what a pub is, and everybody knows what a nightclub is, and a bar is just the in-between being a pub and a bar. A pub and a nightclub.
Okay.
So it's like a pub with music.
I don't like this definition. This definition is saying a bar is exclusively booze, a pub has food. I don't like that definition because I've gone to pubs that don't do food. Unless you're classing crisps and stuff. But I don't.
So my definition is... So like a pub's a pub, and then like a bar is like the in-between ground between a pub and a nightclub. Like Roper Hall.
Honestly, I am not against the definition of a bar has cocktails. I don't expect a pub to. I expect them to do mixed drinks. I expect them to do rum and coke and whiskey and coke or whatever. I expect a bar to have a wider selection of spirits and to be able to do a cocktail or two.
But you get what I mean when I say a bar is the in-between of a... It's like the love child of a pub and a nightclub.
Yeah, because I don't like that definition, because you get, like, oh, it's whatever, bar and grill. So I don't like that definition. Like there's a few bars that do, like, steaks and stuff. And
yeah, that's a bullshit.
Yeah, no, I hate that. I'm against that in nature. Just against it.
Against it in nature.
Yeah.
It's not...
That definition is not a good one.
Not a good one. You know what I actually don't get? People that collect stamps.
Nope, don't get it.
I don't get it as a hobby overall. I couldn't imagine anything more boring. Or people that collect coins.
Coins I get more.
I don't get it. Like the people go, oh well, I'm going to collect 2p coins and I'm going to have every 2p coin and one's going to be like 1990 all the way through to 2020 and I'm going to collect each. No. I don't get it. It always cracks me up when I look on like the internet at like different hobbies and stuff. Like it's just random. So like one of the hobbies on this website is learn how to apply your makeup.
Makeup can be a hobby. No, makeup can be a hobby. That one's fine.
I don't know.
Go on, run through a few and I'll tell you if I can see it as a hobby. Because I'm a little more forgiving than you, I reckon. But
learning calligraphy. Alright.
Can be, yeah,
fair enough.
I'll let that one slide.
Number 2, working out online. Yeah, I get it. I get how exercising could be a hobby.
Yeah.
Going for runs and stuff.
I think we need to... For me, the definition of a hobby is something you do either on your own and there's an outcome, like you have something at the end of it. Whether that be an experience that you've enjoyed or an actual physical thing. Like sewing and knitting and stuff, you get something out of the end of it. For me, a hobby specifically, you have to not make money on. Because otherwise it's work. Like, you can surely sell a knitted scarf that you've done, but if you're doing it for the intent of making money, it's no longer... it's no longer a hobby, it's a job. But I think certain things, like, it can also be something you do with another person. So working out on your own, I don't see as a hobby. Working out with someone else, I can see it. I see it more. I see it then more like karate or something. Like a martial art. I see that as a hobby.
Yeah. So you don't see going for a run as a hobby?
On your own, no, but with someone, yes. Because, like, you get more out of it if there's someone else.
Okay. Fair enough.
I know that seems backwards, but that's just how I'm, like, figuring it.
No, I see, like, that as a hobby. Going, like, running and jogging and stuff. I know people that genuinely enjoy it and do it, like, 5 or 6 times a week and actually really enjoy it. Learning how to cook. Yeah, I can see that as a hobby. People like to cook and bake. And
yeah, for me, it's a work, but I also do enjoy it in, like, my spare time. If I'm in the mood, I do like to go out my way to learn something new, so, yeah.
Practicing meditation. I don't get it, but it is a hobby.
I can't do it, or at least I haven't tried in a very long time, but I get it. I wish I could sit in, like, the quiet with light music and just self-concentrate for a while. That would be nice.
I can kind of do it, just like phase out and stop thinking about stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where it's actually a bit disturbing.
Yeah, it's called disassociation. It's a thing. Maybe you should Google it.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Okay, if you keep yourself in your nice little bubble of self-denial, it's fine.
Okay, I will do. Picking up needlework, so like knitting and shit.
Yeah, no, that's 100%.
Learning an instrument. Yeah, fine, fair enough. Painting.
At what point does a hobby become a skill? Is it just the fact that you're good at it, or does it continue being a hobby even if you're okay at it?
Yeah, I think like people get good at all sorts of stuff because it is a hobby and they enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Like gaming. Gaming's a hobby and you can get really good at that.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Nah, gaming's a lifestyle, man.
Jesus. So number 8 is making your own soap and candles.
I'd like to try it at some point. I think it's cool.
I can't consider that one as a hobby.
No, it is a hobby. It's a craft.
No, not having it.
No.
Thought about it, not having it.
Why? Go on.
No, it's just a ridiculous thing to do. Just go to the shop. Shop has candles.
It's generally more something that you're going to end up selling because just via the nature of it, you can end up making a lot more for not much more expensive. But no, it's a hobby. It's something people can do for fun. It's something you get something out of at the end and that you can then gift to people. That's just kind of like, oh, here, you smell.
No, I'm still not having it as a hobby. It's ridiculous.
Right.
It's a ridiculous thing. Learn to Photoshop. Kind of. But I don't know anybody that does it as a hobby.
I know someone who kind of started as a hobby. He started getting into photography, and with that comes Photoshop, because you have to like kind of adapt into it. Because you don't just take a photo and post it. That's it. It's done. There's stuff that goes into photos. But now it's far more of a career like concept than it is.
Yeah, but
just a hobby.
You don't know anybody that just does the photoshopping that doesn't have a Canon camera.
Yeah, like I've done not Photoshop, but I've like made a few memes every now and again for funsies.
Yeah,
but that's on Paint. Like I can see it as a hobby. I can see like photo editing for fun.
Okay.
Like legitimately, just for like being funny. Like, oh, I'm gonna like put a T-Rex in the back of this picture for shits and gigs. I can see it.
Okay. The next one is learning to code.
Yes, I can see it. I don't fully like twig with it, but I get it. Because one of my mates, John, he's there's a group of people who are remaking Morrowind, the game, in the Skyrim engine.
Okay.
John's giving them a hand by doing some of the 3D modelling.
Okay.
Like, not exactly coding, but for the people doing it, they're not doing it for money, they're just doing it for the passion of doing it. It's a hobby. It's something they're not being paid to do, but there's going to be something at the end of it.
Well, it's like the people that play like Call of Duty online.
Yep.
On the PCs, and then they make mods of the game. So yeah, I get it. It's a hobby. I'll accept that one. So this one is taking care of your plants, so basically just gardening.
Gardening, yep, no, yeah, it is.
It's a hobby, yeah.
I'd love to be good at gardening, but I'm not.
I'm just not interested.
I like the idea of having a lot of plants, but I struggle with the adapting. I'm like, oh well, this plant, I've been told it needs 20 mils every 3 days. I've given it 20 mils every 3 days. Why is it dead?
Yeah.
I struggle with adapting. It's like, oh, it's colder weather, so it needs less, or it's warmer, so it needs more.
So when we were doing like the whole country, when we went into the first lockdown, did like the family quiz every Sunday.
Yep.
Like the rest of the country, that's what me and my dad's side of the family were doing. And one of the weeks, my oldest brother decided to do the quiz. I think it was my oldest brother. One of my brothers anyway, and one of the categories were like plants.
Yep.
And like, oh, what's this plant? What's that plant? I like 10 questions, It was like, that's a red plant, a green plant, an orange plant, a purple plant, a plant, and that was it. I don't have a clue on plants or trees. It's either a plant, a bush, or a tree to me.
Yeah.
So, look.
God
Jesus
damn.
Christ.
Bless you, Jesus.
So don't get how this is a hobby. Learning a new hairstyle. I don't get how that's a hobby. So the description under it.
Yep, go on.
If you tend to wear your hair the same way most days because of a lack of time to do anything you're not quite familiar with, now is the time to branch out and learn something new. Watch YouTube or Instagram to gather any tools or supplies you may need and give it a try. Practice makes perfect after all.
I can kind of get it, because to an extent I could see Instagram as a hobby. Posting stuff to Instagram and figuring out what to post on any given day. To an extent I can get it. It's a hobby. It's a daily thing you do to distract yourself from the meaningless of life.
But
whatever.
This is more like watching YouTube and Instagram.
But I can see like, learn a new hairstyle. Learn how to style your hair in a different way.
Learn how to do your makeup, all that bullshit.
Yeah, and then having something at the end of it, you've got a new skill. And if it had been rephrased, learn hairstyling, would you accept it? Is it simply because it sounded quite singular?
I'm not It depends. So for me, it depends. Does it mean for blokes how to spike your hair up?
I think it more means women with long hair. You've got long hair, you can do a lot with it. Learn something new, learn how to braid, learn how to do a French plait, whatever.
If it's blokes learning how to gel their hair up, no, you can fuck right off. Just get some fucking wax and gel it up. Don't be a dickhead. If it's women and they're learning how to like fucking braid their hair and twirl it and curl it and all that bullshit, yeah, then fair enough. If they're into hair and beauty, then yeah, that's a thing. Fair enough. Practicing journaling. I like keeping a journal and stuff.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. No, that I get it.
No, I don't get it.
I'm gonna quickly search the definition of a hobby, because I think that'll clear things up, because to me it's something you do either as a distraction or something that you get out of at the end. No, actually, it's something that you get out of. Something you get something out of. Whether it be just enjoyment or you get a physical item at the end. I can see journaling as thing. Let's have a look. Define hobby. An activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure. So it's specifically something you do for fun. That's a good... I can see that as a definition. That's fine.
I don't get how keeping a journal is joyful though, or give you any sense of joy.
From a depression point of view, let's put it this way, because I was talking to someone about like having a vision board and stuff. It's very easy to look back on life and go, oh, everything's bad. Everything's bad, everything's horrible. But if you've kept a journal for a while and you can look back and go, actually, I did this on that day, I'd forgotten about that, I had a good time doing that. And being able to look back and go over each individual thing that you've achieved and gone, oh, I did this on that day and that was fun. Oh, I spoke to a new person. Blah, 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 blah. It can make it easier. And simply because it's something that you are doing in your own time for fun, it ends up being a hobby rather than a self-care thing.
I mean, what's your journal going to be in 2020? Today, I got up, stayed in my pyjamas, and went to the living room, worked, and went back to my bedroom.
Keith, you bought yourself a guitar. Someone could write in there that they learnt a new chord. They successfully overcame an obstacle
Right, well, fuck you and your good points.
A lot of people last year tried to pick up something new. A lot of people did bread. I did bread. I enjoyed it while I did it. That would be in there. It's like, oh, I have gotten into sourdough. My first couple loaves weren't perfect. I'm still struggling to have them maintain their shape. They flatten out a little bit too much for me. It was probably the water contents. It was a 70-30 deal, and it was probably a bit too wet. If I were to do it again, I might lower the moisture content and it might keep the shape a little better. That'd be in my journal.
Fuck you and your journal.
Alright.
That sounds interesting. And that's why I'm saying fuck it. Because mine would be Monday to Friday.
Went to work.
Got up this morning, later than I should have done. Got dressed in a hurry. Went to work. Did the work. Took the piss out of several people. Came home and played Football Manager while watching shit TV. That is my Monday to Friday. Saturday is inevitably getting up, fucking about all day, and maybe watching Blackburn Rovers. Sunday is a fucking DOS day.
Yep. However, I think another aspect of keeping a journal would be you get to look back and realise that you're in a bit of a rut and try and maybe push yourself to do something else.
Yeah, I suppose. Stop making good fucking points. I'm not having this.
Not having it.
Not having it. It's bullshit. Prioritise your financial health. I don't get how that's a hobby.
Hobby, no. I can see how people have fun with it, but I struggle to think of that as a hobby. Like, that's actively thinking, I should probably do less fun things to have more money.
Yeah. The next one, make a vision board.
Vision board is very similar to the journal thing.
Now, can I actually see that one?
Yep, no, it's the person I was speaking to, like, they were told in their therapy to keep a vision board and write down aims and goals and check them off as you finish them, but keep track of them. Don't wipe it off. So you can look back and go, oh, actually, although I'm in a bit of a rut now and I'm not too happy, I've achieved quite a few things this year. Vision board, yeah, fine. It's something that isn't quite as regular as other things, but I get it.
I get that one. That's not a bad one, actually.
Yeah.
Give your old furniture a refresh. So,
hobby, I would say no, that's more of a job.
No, I get that. Some people like upcycling stuff.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean there. I was thinking more like cleaning the couch, like giving the cushions a wash.
No, I think it's more like getting like a coffee table like this and going, oh well, actually I can take the handles off and put different handles on and maybe paint it.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I can see it. Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, I think it means more of that sort of stuff.
I did some of that the other day. I got a really nice dice roller, a Cthulhu dice roller, and I got it. I was given it, and it was very, very nice. But it was just a bit dull. I'll send you some pictures later. It was just a little bit dull. It was a very, like, standard greeny colour.
Yeah.
I painted it up yesterday. Was doing nothing yesterday, so I painted it up. I'm not good at painting. I'm okay with techniques. So I know, give it a base coat.
Yeah.
Then water down some acrylic, like, to simulate dirt and filth. That gets all in the cracks, and then wipe it all off, so all the cracks have filled in. Yeah. With like shadowy, dirty looking, like filth. And then, have you ever seen like those metal statues of like a dog, where like the head is always shiny because people constantly touch the head? Then you just do a dry brush with like some gold or the metallic one that you want it to look like it's made of. I'll show you in a bit. I'll show you. But then you do that over the outside, so it looks everywhere that you would have wiped with a cloth has wiped the dirt off, and that looks like exposed metal.
Okay.
Oh, I did that yesterday, so I get that one.
Yeah. Fostering an animal. Yeah, I get that one. I imagine that you could get quite a lot of enjoyment out of that.
Yeah.
Getting like a dog that's been like abused and not properly looked after, and you get to look after it and make it so it enjoying life instead of fucking miserable.
Yeah, no, slightly less so because that seems more of a lifestyle shift as opposed to an active hobby. Because a hobby to me is something I can pick up and put down. You can't put down looking after a dog. I mean, if you're considering it's like, oh, I'll do it for a while, like I do it for a few months of the year, I'll look after a dog until it finds a home. I kind of get it, but for me, a hobby is something I can pick up for an hour or two and then like leave again.
Yeah. Teaching yourself a new language.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
I mean, I've barely got a grasp of, fucking English.
Is there any language you would like to have learned? Is there anything you wish you'd have done earlier in life so you had done it now?
Maybe learn the guitar. I find that very hard to learn now. And maybe like mixed martial arts or boxing.
Yep, there is there's something about the motivation of being a child and being committed to something. Because when you're a child, you don't have. Because I don't think I'm a very well-rounded person, but I have an amount of interests and hobbies, and I can dot about and do a few little things. When you're a kid, you are looking for that one defining character trait that can be you. For a lot of people, that's an instrument. They go, oh, I'm going to learn guitar, and that's going to be the guy I am. I'm going to be the guitar guy. Yeah. That's fine. Can't do that now. Like, nobody is... Until you hit your midlife crisis, that's when you can do it again. You hit a midlife crisis and you go, oh, actually, I'm going to be the guy who has a really nice car. Yeah.
I think the only way now, I wouldn't... especially with, like, boxing, I would not start boxing unless, for example, I won the lottery and would be able to do it for a couple of, like, 2 hours a day, 4 or 5 times a week, and dedicate proper time to it till I get to like a good standard.
That's the kind of thing I would love to do. If in a few years I were to somehow get a fairly well-paying job, I would do it part-time. I only want to work enough hours that I can comfortably pay my bills and buy myself stuff every now and again.
Yeah.
If I'm fine having more free time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I've always said that if I ever like won the lottery, I'd go travelling for a couple of years, then move abroad, and the majority of the time, I would just be playing different sports and getting good at them.
Yep. I know that if you learn piano or guitar, it is very easy to pick up another instrument.
Yeah.
Because you gain an understanding of music, not just how to play. You get an understanding of how music is composed in a conceptually interesting way.
Yeah.
So from piano and guitar, like there's a lot of string instruments that are played similarly to a guitar, so adapting isn't that difficult. And piano gives you a very basic knowledge of... It also adapts your fingers to working in certain ways.
Yeah.
Also, it's just picking up with your ears, like what notes are and what chords are. Yeah. Like people who play trombone, I find amazing because that is, there's no, it's not, it's
there's no set.
It's
you've got to learn how far to put it.
Yeah,
to get that note.
It's analog. It's not digital. It's not binary. It is. You need to figure out exactly where that C chord is and how far. There's a lot of muscle memory, but it's not It's dexterous to an extent, but it's not fingers. Yeah. Like there's no. Oh, I know if I put my hand in this shape and go clonk, a C chord comes out. I know I have to have my arm stretched out 32 centimeters.
Yeah. So the next one, watching online documentaries.
I do not class watching TV as a hobby. I class it as the default. That is in current society. Yeah. The default, I have some time to spare, is you're watching TV.
Yeah.
Specifically watching individual things I can see. Like, if you ask someone, oh, what are you into? Oh, I'm quite into films. I can see films as being a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, if you're actively going out of your way to search for specific films and it's not just whatever's on, films are a hobby. Documentaries, I can see it. Yeah, I'll let that one slide. It's fine.
One thing that I don't get, and it's become like a trend. Women aged between like the ages of like 20 and 35
being into serial killers,
being obsessed with serial killer documentaries. I don't get it.
I find serial killer documentaries interesting.
I don't get it at all.
I think for women to an extent, and this is me like speaking on behalf of an entire different gender, which isn't for me to say, but I think it can be interesting because men are sort of vilified and seen as monstrous, and it happens. Like, most serial killers happen to be men because that's how it works out. Whatever. I can see an interest in, for women, like going, I want to see what the worst of the worst is. Like, where I want to understand how they tick and what causes that. Blah 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 blah. I can see it. I don't relate to it, but I can understand it.
Yeah.
It's also just kind of a macabre thing where a lot of women. I'm not saying a lot of women. I'm saying I have known people to. I want that one thing that makes me me. I want to be the guy who plays guitar. I want to be the guy who is really into cars. Oh, I want to be the girl who's into serial killer documentaries because it's kind of a defining character trait. It's one of the things that defines you because it's something you put a lot of time into.
Look at me, I'm edgy. I like watching.
Kind of, yeah, but like. I try to judge people because I used to be very judgmental on meeting someone. It's like, oh, you're the person who does that one thing and you're very one note. No, people aren't one note. People like what they like and I just let them.
Yeah.
Like, I am no one to judge anyone. I'm very boring.
Next one is going camping. That's a hobby.
Yeah.
It's a good hobby. I like going camping.
I haven't been in many years. I used to be a scout, but I haven't been in a long time. I enjoyed camping. I enjoyed the idea of camping.
You know what? I've actually gotten into the idea of hunting, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. And when I say hunting, I don't mean like the trophy hunting where you go to like South Africa and kill a fucking lion.
Yeah. You're talking like deer and game and stuff.
Yeah, like going to America and like killing a fucking buck with a fucking bow and arrow, because that does take fucking dedication.
Bow and arrow, I get a lot more than a gun. Bow and arrow, I can see getting to like primal instinct, hunting for food and that side of it, and trying to tap into like that side. With a gun, it's a point and click. Like, if you really wanted to, you could make it easy on yourself and use an AK-47. It's not hard.
I think the thing is with hunting, I hadn't thought of this before I started listening to Joe Rogan, is a lot of it is you have to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Because if you imagine that you're taking like a massive rucksack into the wilderness and then spending several days in the wilderness carrying this backpack around, you're walking non-stop, and then whatever. And I kind of get it. I get why people use a gun, because it does take some sort of dedication to be good enough to kill an animal from, I don't know, 500 yards away with one shot.
Yeah.
Because you've got to hit it in just the right place that it's not going to suffer. And I think the reason that most people kind of do it with a gun is because the amount of dedication that it takes to be that good at that range with a bow and arrow, you need to spend like thousands of hours over like a couple of years just to get that anywhere close good enough. And then not necessarily not everybody can get that good with a bow and arrow, because it's probably very difficult.
Yeah, it's very much based on muscle memory. It's muscle memory and understanding how things move.
Yeah.
And understanding your arrow, because arrows they fly straight to an extent, but they wobble. Like the actual arrow kind of bows and creaks as it flies, and you'd figure out like when it straightens out, how far away you are, because the less power you put behind it, the less it wobbles. But You want to make sure it's got the penetration power. There's stuff going on there. I know enough to put one on and fire it, and that you shouldn't fire a bow without anything in it. But that's me.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of get that. But then again, it's something that I'd like to do, but I know for a fact that I'm way too fucking squeamish.
Yeah.
Like, people go, oh, you know, like the millennials and Gen X, oh, they're all like properly desensitized and all this sort of stuff on all the TV that they've. I'm like, yeah, we've watched like fucking people murdering each other and that, but I still don't think I could physically stomach an animal being cut up in front of me. I think that'd knock me sick.
I think it's the killing I think I'd struggle with most. But I eat meat. I was considering being a butcher for a while. The actual act of it being dead isn't the issue. It's the pulling of the trigger that I think I'd struggle with more. But I think I could get over it.
I don't think I'd struggle with that as much as trying to then going over and going, right, I've got to cut this fecker up and
I don't think I'd struggle with that part.
I would. I think I'd struggle with that bit more.
For me, once the guts are out, it's meat, and I don't care anymore. Like, getting the guts out might be weird, but then I see that as a task as opposed to an activity that needs doing because it was a living thing. It's more of a this is a thing now that needs doing. It's compartmentalizing, I guess, but
it's like once I've been fishing a couple of times, and like the actual catching the fish and killing the fish didn't really bother me that much. But then we took them back to because we were camping in Wales. Yeah. Took them back to the campsite, and one of the guys that we were with then skinned them and took all like the guts out and stuff. Yep. And that bit knocked me sick.
I've only ever been fishing that you then return the fish. I've never done catching fish for food because I'm not big on fish, first of all. But it's just my dad took me to like private ponds.
Yeah, so we went deep sea fishing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun. It was nice and chilling out. I actually get fishing as a hobby.
Yeah.
Especially, I think it'd be a bit boring if you're doing it by yourself, unless you're listening to music and stuff. But doing it with other people, yeah, it's quite chilling. And
on the few occasions that I've done it, I have enjoyed it.
Yeah. The next one, discovering new music. I get
fine.
that.
Nope, fine. I got new headphones for Christmas specifically for the idea of getting into different kinds of music.
So drawing, learning how to draw and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's fine. Volunteering.
Yep, no, I see it. Especially for like older people. For older people, I see it as a hobby. For younger people, I see it as kind of a necessity. It is a work when you're younger. You might enjoy it, but it is work.
Yeah.
Because I can't get a job because I've no experience. I've been in
college or university.
In college or whatever, and now I need work experience to be able to get a job. It is a job. It is not something you are doing for fun.
Yeah.
You are doing it because it is a need. Older people, 100%. You've retired and you're bored. Go volunteer. Great.
Yeah. Yoga. Yeah, I get that.
Anything that you've got to pay to be in a room with other people is a hobby.
Writing.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I've got a few friends that do writing for fun.
Like fan fiction and shit.
Fan fiction, or like I've got a mate who he's currently in uni doing creative writing. He's going to go for his doctorate and he is writing a book.
Oh, fair enough. Playing cards. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, fine. I don't
like poker and stuff.
I don't massively enjoy it, but I understand other people do.
It's like people that get like board games and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's
one
me.
of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I know you don't really get that, but you have played the standard board games you get as a kid. You haven't played any of the like more interesting ones.
I think I would be more into it if I had my own place.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I could have like people around on a
That's why
like a games night type thing.
Yep. There's a game that I think you might be kind of interested in that is a decent middle ground, like getting into D&D. It's called Descent.
Okay.
You get tiles. Like there is one person who's playing the bad guy, essentially the dungeon master, and they have a stack of like dungeon room tiles that connect to. So you'll enter a room. You can only see the room that you're in. You get to the door. Okay, I'll randomly pick the next tile. Okay, this tile has 3 rooms adjacent to it, and I'm going to spawn in these enemies. Okay. And then when you finish that, it's a game that you can play over like months or whatever, because you can carry on playing with the same characters you picked.
Okay.
And keep your gold and keep your items, because in between dungeons you can go to towns and buy stuff to get ready for the next one. It just gets more and more difficult as you progress. It is... Descent's a fun one. It's just there's a lot of stuff. You just have to get used to it.
Yeah. Matt Crime that I work with.
Yes, he's super into his board games and his Kickstarters.
Obsessed with like board games and stuff. He has loads of them.
Yeah.
Which I suppose for him is like a good hobby because he has kids anyway.
Yep. No, it's
I suppose it's a good way to spend time with the family.
Yeah.
Learning to dance or dancing.
Yeah. It's not for me, but I understand the desire to. I would like to learn to like ballroom dance to an extent for wedding and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But like proper like street dancing, club dancing, like nah, there's very little interest in it for me.
I don't have the coordination for it.
Nope. 2
left feet. But in saying that, my cousin did ballet. He was really, really good at it to the point where he got through to like the final audition for the Royal Ballet, which is like
fucking hell.
Yeah, it was between. I think there were like say for example there were 2 sports, and there was him and 2 other people, and he just missed out on it, but got through right to the end. So I think he went over to. I think there's like the second best one is like the one in Leeds. There's like one in Leeds that's very, very good. That's just below the Royal Ballet. That he went to for a while and then ended up giving it up. But to be fair, he probably could have had a career in ballet if he kept it up.
Yeah.
But I just didn't fall out of love with it for whatever reason.
That's fine.
Reading. Yeah, I can see that as a hobby.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's reading isn't something that realistically can be paid to do on your own time. So 100% it is just a hobby. It's a way to pass your time that you enjoy. Yeah.
I never read that much, but that's only because I'm dyslexic and I struggle taking in information that way.
Yep.
But I do listen to a lot of audiobooks.
Yeah. I like reading, it's just I really struggle to get into it. I struggle to pick it over other actions.
Yeah.
And putting the time aside for it is annoying. Like I used to read at work. I got back into reading while I was like last few months I was at your place.
Yeah.
And then they told us to stop reading. I was like, that's ridiculous. Sod off.
But no, I listen to a lot because I've told you about it before. I know the
like
Amazon
Audible
thing. And yeah, even to the point where like I've got my dad into it because, well, I don't think he does it as much anymore, but he used to listen to a lot of audiobooks just driving into work and stuff. Because obviously, like I have a lot of like autobiographies from ex-players, managers and all that sort of rubbish that he really likes. Exploring where you live.
Yeah, I get that. Like in Wantley Dale, not too far away, just past Capital Centre, there's a nice woods that I used to live next to. It's very nice up there.
I should probably know what the Wantley Dale area a lot more than I actually do, considering I went to fucking school there.
Did you? Oh, we've talked about this. Yeah, like.
Yeah, I went to Wantley Dale High School and Arts College.
I went to the primary school and then moved in between year 3 and 4 summer holidays.
Yeah, so we could have gone to high school together, but we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I don't know if we would have been like close friends at that point.
Probably not. Did you ever meet a guy called David Durning? Ginger.
I don't know.
No, he's the only. There was another kid called Stephen, but I can't remember his last name. But me, David, and Stephen, we were the friends in year 3, and then I moved.
Yeah.
Ruined everything.
I was thinking back about like high school and stuff, and like year 7 and 8, and yeah, probably year 9. I was like very much a nerdy child.
Yeah.
Because I used to, well, I still do enjoy like High School Musical and all that sort of fucking nerdy shit. But because I also enjoyed football, I think I really developed my sense of humour in year 10 and 11. I got in with the popular kids. I developed into one of the more popular kids.
Yeah.
Because I played football more. Learning magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of hobbies that are easy to get into as a kid that just get more difficult. Learning a language or an instrument just gets harder with age.
Learning origami.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody that has learned it or got into it.
I used to do it a little bit. I had a book. I knew how to do the stands. Like, I can do a swan.
I used to be that guy.
Yeah, I did it. It's something I used to do in lessons in high school.
Okay.
Like if I was in like geography in year 8, I have no interest in geography. I don't give a shit. So I'll just do a bit of origami. I had my little book. I knew how to. Swans and frogs were not hard. They're pretty go-to. They're not difficult. Hat was pretty easy, like a little caboto.
Okay.
Some of the really intricate stuff you need to be very precise with your folds, and you need to be able to fold it well. But yeah.
So that's reminding me. Imran Chaka that I sit next to at work, he's obsessed with geography. Absolutely loves it. Only problem is with Imran is he can't really pronounce his V's.
Oh.
So he's like, oh yeah, I'm really into geography. I said, all right, teach me something. Come on, if you're really into it, all this. It's like, oh yeah, I'll give you a lesson, this, that, and other. I'll teach you about volcanoes. I'm like, you fucking what? Yeah, I'll teach you about volcanoes, innit? And that way, I was fucking pissing myself. I'm like, you're going to teach me about volcanoes, are you? Are they like volcanoes? He's like, oh, piss off. To the point where I was laughing that much that he now refuses to call them volcanoes. He calls them fire mountains.
Oh dear.
And that's one of my favourite things at work, the fact that he now refuses to say anything with a V in it. Or he tries his very best not to. Even to the point where I try and get him to say Volkswagen. Because that's when he's just a Volkswagen. It's quite fun. The funniest one that he's ever done though is I wasn't expecting it, and he called through to a different department. I went, "Hi, are you speaking to Imran? Can I take your name, please?" And they answered, and he went, "Sorry, what was your name again?" "Oh, hiya, Wiki." And I was pissing myself.
Oh.
I'm like, what was her name? He's like, Wiki, it's Wiki. I'm like, do you mean Vicky? He's like, that's what I said Wiki. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Brilliant fun. I don't know why it tickles me so much, but it genuinely has me in stitches. He's like, oh, I've got a speech impediment. I'm like, no, you don't. You just don't pronounce your V's. He's like, no, I've got a speech impediment. I'm like, what? What speech impediment? Like, I stutter. No, you don't. No, you don't stutter. That's not a thing. He's like, I've got a lisp. No, you don't. You don't have a lisp. That is for S's. And you can pronounce your S's, so you don't have a lisp. And yeah, it's one of my favourite things at work. Just sitting next to him while he tries to say things with V's in them. He's not a fan of vegetables. On to the next hobby. Writing a song.
Songwriting, music, yeah, all lumped in together. So I know songwriting is very different than doing music, but They kind of go hand in hand.
This is like quite a different one. Trying to beat a world record.
It's an odd one, but I get it, because speedrunning is a thing. Speedrunning video games.
Oh, okay. I thought you just meant sprinting down the street.
Not just sprinting, no. Speedrunning video games is a hobby that a lot of people have that takes a lot of dedication. I get it.
What, like Super Mario trying to get to end quicker?
Yep. Because there's different versions. There's... The standard one is get to the credits. That's your standard speedrun is finish the game, get to the credits. In that case, you can do it in whatever way you want. Yeah. You can glitch the game out to the point that you finish the game. Doesn't matter, you just have to finish the game. It's fine.
Okay.
Then there's like certain percentage runs. Like, oh, you have to finish Super Mario, but you have to do it in a legitimate way. You can't just glitch the game out. You have to just do it in the quickest way possible.
Okay.
Then there's 100% runs. So like, oh, you've got to do Mario, but you have to do every world, every alternate exit to all the mansions. You've got to do everything. So there's different versions of each one.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see that is essentially beating a world record every time if you can do it.
Yeah.
So I see it, especially if it tends to go hand in hand with another hobby, I guess, because for that it'd be video games. Video games is the hobby, and then there's the added one of wanting to get the fastest time on Super Mario 64 or something.
Yeah. Visiting local museums. Kind of get it. Trying to learn new things. Learning's like a hobby. Especially if you're interested in something like art. If you're going to a museum.
Actually, yep, I get it more. I was like, going to a science museum, it's going to be very similar time to time you go. If you've gone 4 times in a year, you've probably seen the same stuff every time. They don't change out exhibits all that often. They have specialist exhibits, but they don't change all that often. So
I went to go to the museum in Preston the other year and totally forgot all about it because they had like a space museum.
Yeah, they had the big moon, didn't they?
Yeah, and I went to go and see it, and I didn't.
I didn't see it. Apparently, it was very good. Apparently, it was really, really good.
Yeah, they had a massive moon there.
Yep.
And
they had a Lego thing a while back. My friend Dan got pissed off because he didn't get to do it.
Yeah, it's something that I actually wish that I'd not force myself to get into, but set aside a day and go and actually do it. And because I imagine that there is a lot of stuff to go and see, especially considering that we live local to like Manchester and Leeds.
Yep.
And they've both got really good like museums and stuff. I should probably just go and do it more often.
Yep.
Because there's the one in Leeds I've been a couple of times, and it's like a medieval
the Leeds
museum.
Armoury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been to that one a couple of times. That one's quite good.
There's a Viking museum in Ribchester that is off like heading towards Yorkshire. It's very fun. I went there as a kid. It's one place that if you went to school in Lancashire, you probably went to Ribchester at least once.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, it depends what curriculum you're on. Because if you learned about Vikings in like year 4 or 5, you probably went to Ribchester.
Yeah. Another one that isn't on the list that is probably a hobby, going to amusement parks.
I like amusement parks a lot.
And we were talking about this today at work. And I went to Blackpool Pleasure Beach like for the first time in about 10 years, like last summer, and absolutely loved it. Even though I went on a big one and absolutely kicked myself because I don't like heights.
Yeah, me and Becca, our plan for our honeymoon, we're not going abroad. We're gonna spend all the money we would do on a holiday touring UK theme parks and staying in like the hotels that are nearby.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so like Thorpe Park, Chesterton World of Adventure, Alton Towers, Pleasure Beach. Just go around all them and have fun. Like, actually go all out, get the fast passes, don't queue up for anything. Just go all out, because you can do all of that for... I'm certain we can do that for, like, less than the cost of a holiday.
Without saying that, I would probably say yes before coronavirus, but considering how cheap flights and stuff are now...
Yeah.
But even so, that does sound like a better way of doing it than going somewhere ridiculously nice for 2 weeks.
And I like going abroad to an extent, but I get bored.
I suppose it depends where you're going. I could understand it if you're going like Tenerife, because I don't get the people that go to like Tenerife every year for 3 months.
I get bored of it being a tourist destination and seeing a load of other people that are just there to enjoy the fact that it's warm. I'd much rather go on city breaks. I'm happy to, because I enjoy my life here. 5 minutes walk from city centre.
Yeah.
I enjoy being near a park. I'd go to Canada for like a couple of weeks and just enjoy city life there and having a wander.
Yeah, something like going to like New York or something like that. So the next one is playing Sudoku.
It's a boring one, but I get it.
Yeah, a lot of old people kind of do that sort of stuff to keep the mind occupied.
Yep.
I know my grandma does it.
Yep.
Because she's worried about her brain going, so...
My grandma used to do them all the time. I don't know if she still does, but she used to. My grandma does all the games in the newspaper. So, crosswords, everything, she just does the lot.
Next one, starting a blog, which is very similar to starting a journal.
Yeah, it's a journal. It's an online journal.
The next one, listening to a podcast. I get it. We're doing a podcast.
Yep, we're doing it. I suppose this is a hobby in and of itself, doing it.
Yeah. And I know you listen to a lot more podcasts than I do, to be fair.
I listen to a couple. And even then, I've kind of fallen out of it recently because I'm at home and I'm doing more stuff that needs my attention. So I'm not having the same amount of time to just veg out. Yeah,
even then, the only 2 podcasts that I've ever really gotten into is
Joe Rogan.
Obviously, the Joe Rogan one, and even with that one, I only listen to the odd one here and there.
Yep.
And the Ricky Gervais one with Carl Pilkington.
Yes. Yep.
And because of my brother, I actually got into that before it got properly popular.
Because that was an early one as well. I'd say in the last 10 years, podcasts have become fairly mainstream. Everyone knows of a couple. Almost everyone listens to like one or is aware of one enough that they could reference it.
Yeah.
The Ricky Gervais one started fucking early. It was like early 2000s. Like 2005, I want to say, like, if not earlier.
Well, that's kind of the thing that kicks off Carl Pilkington's career, really, isn't it?
Because I think he was a stage manager or something.
He worked at Radio X, and that's how we met Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
And he did all the. I think he like set up all the equipment and stuff like that.
Yes, he was a something manager.
Yeah.
But he just found him really interesting. He was like, "This is a horribly boring man. I love him."
A horribly boring man that is absolutely hilarious because of his points of view on.
He's so blunt
and everything.
He's great.
He is the smartest idiot or the stupidest smart person that I've ever met.
Yep.
Because he's just not articulate in anything that he says, but you kind of get everything that he's saying.
It's 100% a north-south divide. 100%. Anyone from up north can laugh because they get what he's going for. Anyone down south, no idea. They're on Ricky Gervais' side. They're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I know exactly what he's talking about.
I get what he means.
100%, I know what he means." And it's not clicking because he's so bad at expressing what he's thinking.
Yeah, it was like the little things that always cracked me up with him, like the fact that his mum didn't want a pet but found a spider in the house and put Tipex on its back and kept that as a pet and just let it roam free throughout the house. And it was like little stuff and like how he described that and stuff. It was just hilarious.
I like the one where he was just sat in the back garden dribbling for a bit to see what it was like.
Yeah. Hannah, that we used to work with, is absolutely obsessed with Carl Pilkington and that podcast to the point where I'm fairly certain she listens to it most nights. And she's also pregnant.
She is.
So, well done, Hannah, if you're listening.
Good on you.
Apparently you do listen, or at least that's what you tell me. Photography.
Yeah, I polished that in with Photoshop.
Yeah. Barry, he loves it.
Yeah.
To the point where he gets his mates involved and does like different photo shoots with different stuff, and they actually do look like a lot of fun.
No, my old housemate, he got into photography and he does it more for work now.
Yeah.
He's very, very good. I've been in a few of his photo shoots. They're always difficult because it's a lot of standing around and then like having to pose and know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing those on your Facebook.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those were like character photo shoots.
Yeah. They always had a theme. Like there was a Resident Evil shoot we did.
Yeah.
There was a boxing one that was really good that he didn't take the photos for, but he kind of like half directed.
Yeah. I think Barry's aren't similar to that at all. I know he did one with I think it's like dyed flour and stuff.
Okay.
You know, where you're like chucking it and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I get you.
He did another one where he had like a light and it's like long exposure, so you could like write something.
Yeah.
He has another one where
very Instagrammable.
Yeah. He had like another one where he went to Blackpool Beach with it was like a glass bowl that looked like it would perfectly round glass bowl and could do like different angles and stuff. What else did he do? He did a few things. I think he were on about doing one with like flares and stuff.
Yeah, flares and smoke grenades.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. That all sounded very interesting. Yeah, cycling, that's definitely a hobby. It's not something that I'd probably get into myself because you look ridiculous while doing it.
Yeah, it's an ordeal.
So the next one is actually whittling. So I imagine that's a lot of it is just like woodwork and stuff.
Yeah, it's hand woodwork, so it's using knives and files and stuff. I would be interested in it. It's just getting into any hobby can be expensive.
Yeah.
Like I've got the whole dice making thing that I've not talked about yet just because I've not done it in a while. It's expensive to get into. This has been spread over a couple of birthdays. The stuff that I have accrued, it's taken a while. Like Becca got me some stuff for Christmas. Needed the pressure pot. Resin's not cheap. Needed an air compressor. And then I need to be able to 3D print the dice to then... It's a whole thing and it takes a lot to get into, but I find it rewarding. It's just... It's a lot to... There's a lot of investment before you even get anything out of it.
Yeah, I'm following a guy on TikTok at the moment, and he does like a lot of 3D printing. I think he's got like 2 or 3 different 3D printers.
Yes.
And he's just done one which is like a life-size version of the Mandalorian helmet.
That's cool.
And he did that over like a couple of weeks, and little things kept going wrong, or bits of like break, or get clogged up, or whatever. And that was quite interesting. So that's probably a hobby within itself, like 3D printing and stuff.
Yeah, because I've got a 3D printer, but if I really wanted to get into it and get like good at it and go into that stuff, I'd have to learn 3D model as well. But that's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, it's the whole cards and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Next one's joining a sports team. Yeah, I get it. Going to play football or rugby or going to play tennis or whatever. Not really sure if this is a hobby, but mentoring.
I can see it. Becca, for a while there, she joined a Facebook group that was for people who were getting into crafts.
Okay.
So she was like, I can do knitting and I can do a few other bits, like I'm okay at sewing. And it was a mentoring thing. Like, so somebody's getting into it, they can get matched up with a mentor who's interested in that thing and give them pointers and how to fix issues. So mentoring, I can see. It's not a usual one.
Yeah, I suppose
it's not something that a lot of people will do, but I get it. It's almost like getting into teaching, but to maybe a lesser extent.
Yeah, I suppose so. Stargazing, apparently.
Yeah, if you're into astronomy, it's cool. It's just you have to kind of either be able to travel to convenient places or live somewhere that's
like
good
in
for
a village or some shit.
Because it's not too cloudy tonight, so it'll be all right today. But you just got. It's a hobby that's kind of at the will of the weather.
You won't be able to do it in Preston, really.
No, we've got an observatory. Got an observatory in Moore Park.
It's not really. You won't really be able to do it in Preston because of the light pollution.
If there's no clouds at all and you're in the middle of Moore Park, you can. I've been out there a few times at like 3, 4 in the morning. It's been pitch black and it's not too bad because it's only the street lights that are on at that point, so it's not.
You'd
that
be
bad.
surprised at how much of a difference it makes.
Oh, I know. I'd love to be in the middle of nowhere and be able to look at the sky and just see the cosmos.
I used to do it all the time when, like I said, we used to go to a tiny little. Well, we used to camp outside of a tiny little village in Wales called Abersoch, and you can see everything. It's unbelievable, and you'd be surprised at how many shooting stars you see.
Yeah,
quite a lot. It's not like you could literally go do it for 10 or 15 minutes, and usually you'd see at least 1 or 2.
Yeah, stargazing. It's not a regular one, and you at the behest of where you live or can get to.
Yeah,
and the weather. So it's kind of it's an opportunist's hobby, but
yeah. So the next one is building a kite. I can kind of see it.
I've done it. I did it in high school once as one of those
class project type.
And it wasn't even that. It was one of those weird days where you don't go around with your class. You put in different groups, and then you'll go around with that group for the day and do weird stuff in each lesson. It was a strange day, but made a kite, and it was a great kite. We used a bamboo string and bin liners, and I did a really good job. I was proud of my kite.
We used to do stuff like that while camping, growing up, because like I said, we used to go with lots of the same people each time, and we had a kite flying competition, and we had to build our own kite, and me and my stepdad won because he's a builder.
I did a proper triangular fucking went all in kind of kite with a tail and all to keep it straight. Figured out where to put the strings to make sure it was properly held and make I was happy with my kite. Yeah,
I feel like we had an unfair advantage with my stepdad being a builder. But I remember, I think the kite flying competition was on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And we were building it on the Saturday, and a few the other kids had taken their kites out on the Saturday and were practicing with them and stuff. I'm like, oh, come on, let's take it out. He's like, no, we're not taking it out. I didn't understand those kids. And he was like, no, we're not giving them any fucking ideas. Fuck that. No. We're going to build it and we're going to leave it until tomorrow. And the only time we're going to fly it is when you fly it and you're going to run and it's going to shoot up and we're going to win. And that's all it was. You had to get the kite up and you had a length to run to get it up. And that's all you needed to do. And I was won by a country mile, and all I did was run 10 yards, 10, 15 yards, and it went up, and helped with building the kite, and shout out to my stepdad, being the builder. Next one is teaching your pet tricks.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, yeah.
I don't. It's just one that I just do not associate with at all. I'm it is, but I don't care.
Yeah, the next one is starting a club with your friends.
As a high school hobby, yes. As an adult one, I think if you're calling something a club, there's an idea that it's an investment and other people are going to join. If just you and your friends call yourself a club, it's kind of weird, but whatever. I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm just confused.
The description bit under it is, if you and your friends all love something similar, you could start a club themed around the thing that you love, from comedy films to skateboarding. You could meet up and watch videos or discuss the subject.
You know what? Fine, actually. If you're doing it with the specific premise of meeting and talking about this one thing that you're interested in, fine, because I suppose to an extent I used to see my friends every Thursday for D&D. That you could consider it a club. I don't, but you could consider it that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why it reminded me of this, but what's the thing called where they all going? I want to say fancy Comic Con.
Yeah, Comic Con.
That's like just a big club, kind of.
Yeah, I don't. The word club just has connotations for me that I don't associate with those things.
Yeah.
But I get it.
The next one is collecting something.
Yeah, stamps and that.
Standard. This next one is a creepy hobby.
Yeah.
Start people watching. I think if you're going out with the sole intentions...
Oh.
I think if you're going out with the sole intentions of people watching, it's fucking weird. But if you're people watching because you're in town shopping and you go to McDonald's and you're just doing it while you're eating because you're by yourself, then yeah, that's fine.
I think that is a thing that old people do without realising that's what they do. Like, I think if you were to ask an old bloke who lives on his own, it's like, oh, what do you do on a given day? And he'd probably say to you, oh, well, I go for a wander, I go into town, and I just end up watching people for a bit. I don't think there's an intent. I don't think the intent is, oh, I'm going to go people watch. It's more, I'm going to go and this is what I end up doing just because it's what I do while I'm out.
Okay.
I think old people at the pub will do it. Like, an old bloke going to the pub to sit on his own, he's not just going to sit on his own and be in his own silence. He's going to listen in.
Yeah. So I'm starting to run out of these now. On another website. And it's basically just covering the ones that we've pretty much covered anyway. Right, yeah, that's pretty much it then. That is the podcast.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to... It's interesting to see like what other hobbies there are, because there's stuff that I didn't even think about there.
Yeah. I think the only one that I may pick up is like going to museums and stuff.
Yeah, it's
probably just because I should probably educate myself a bit more. And museums are a good way of doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, hobbies and shit.
So this week, we're actually going to make each other playlists for each other to listen to.
We've been saying this for about a month now, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to do it tonight so I don't forget.
Yes, do it tonight. Keep it under half an hour, or half an hour and about that, whatever. And send it over, I'll have a listen, and I'll do one for you tonight as well.
Are you going to have a themed playlist?
I'm probably going to go for the more out there stuff that I listen to. Like, the more music that I can't really jam into a genre. Like, there's Lemon Demon. I really like Lemon Demon. I understand it's a weird one.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of The Ultimate Showdown? The little, like Flash animated thing?
Possibly.
He did that. He also did Puppet Pals under a different name, but
yeah,
it's the kind of stuff that he did. Lemon Demon's great. I'll put up some of him in there and some of the more out there stuff.
Yeah. Right, and then I suppose we'll call it there for this week, and then we'll see where we get with the playlist next week.
Hi, no problem. Right, I'll see you next week.
See you in a bit.